everybody, Fiber Spider back again in the kitchen with another tasty video for you. Today we are going to be having fun with brownie mix. Yes, but we're not going to be making brownies. No, we are going to be making cookies out of the brownie mix, so I call them brookies. Now, I know that there are other definitions of brookies where you take cookie dough and brownie mix and mix them together and create a hybrid. Well, I go based on the words brownie, cookie, brookie. So we're going to take the brownie mix and we're going to make some really awesome cookies. And to me, it's sort of like the best of both worlds because I love the chew and the chocolatiness of the brownies. But when making batches of brownies, well, the center, it always seems less done than the exterior edge. And, invariably, like people have their favorites, sort of like a Sicilian pizza, either they want the end or they want the middle. Well, in this case, they're all the same. It's a cookie shape brownie. It is awesome. Very, very simple. And the main difference really is the consistency of the dough, because instead of it being a batter, we need to alter the ingredients a little bit. It's very simple. And instead of it being a batter, it's going to be more of a dough so that it doesn't spread out and melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. So, that being said, let's get to it. Hello again. All right, so I have all of my ingredients more or less set to go. First things first, you are going to need, of course, a box of brownie mix. And so this is the Walmart brand, #not-sponsored, and it's a little bit different than what the recipe recommends, which is 19.8 ounces. This one is 18.3 ounces. I don't think it's going to make that much of a crucial difference. I think we're going to be okay. So let's start off with this and then proceed from there. Oh, and of course, the ingredients will be in the description box as per usual. Alright, so just dump everything in there. Okay, next up, going to need 1/2 of a cup of flour. Now I'm using all-purpose. And the reason why we're using flour is because, like I said before, we want this to be a little bit thicker. Also, we're not going to be adding quite as much of the liquid that we would normally be adding. All right, so I've got 1/2 a cup of flour. All right. Give this a little bit of a mix. Nothing major. All right, and then 1/2 of a cup of vegetable oil. Here we are. And to that, going to add 2 eggs and 3 tablespoons of water, which I already have prepared. There we are. So yeah, I already put the water into there prior, and give this a good thorough mixing. Should have broken up the eggs beforehand, but that's okay. And give this a nice good mixing. Trying to be nice and thorough. Now, you could, of course, use an electric mixer, stand mixer, what have you, but really this works just fine. It's going to get really thick. Just try to make sure that you get all those little lumps out. Oh, look at that goodness already. Okay, now, last but not least, going to add some chocolate chips and some nuts. So I'm going to add 1 cup of dark chocolate chips. I love dark chocolate. I don't know about you, but it is one of my favorites. There we go. And then I'm going to add a cup of almond slices. Now, of course, you could add really whatever it is that you want to add, whether it's dark chocolate, milk chocolate, light chocolate, almonds, walnuts, pecans, really whatever. Maybe little candied maraschino cherries, that would be awesome. You know, have fun, be creative. I mean, everybody has their own personal preferences. I'm well aware. And this is nice and thick, which is exactly what we want. Now, if in doubt, you can, of course, chill this in the fridge for a bit. I think it'll be fine, quite frankly. Oh, work out your arms, I tell you. Okay, and that's all there is to it. Ta-da! All right, so now going to preheat my oven. Also, I have my cookie sheet with parchment paper all ready to go, and really that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna get my oven preheated and then we will get started in on these bad boys. Okay, so on second thought, you know what? I think just to be on the safe side, what I'm gonna do actually, I already covered this with plastic wrap. I'm gonna pop it in the fridge for about a half an hour to an hour, and then we will get started. So just wanted to let you know before I proceeded on with other things. So I'm gonna let this sit, let it chill for a bit, then we will get to making our cookies. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Hello again. All right, so my dough batter has been in the fridge for about 45 minutes or so, and we are ready to rock and roll. So, ordinarily I would use a cookie scoop for this, but I want them to be a little bit bigger, so I'm using a tablespoon here. And gonna go right in. Oh, this looks savory. Oh God, it looks so scrumptious. Oh my God. All right, so going to use heaping tablespoons and plop it right down onto my parchment paper here. It is very sticky, okay? Not gonna lie, yes, it is very goopy, it is very sticky, but it is not quite a batter. It is definitely more of a dough, which is exactly what we want. So, going to make... it's sticky, I lie not, I do not lie. I'm going to make my cookies here on my parchment paper. Yeah, you definitely want to use parchment paper. No doubt about that. You know, no parchment paper, I would not recommend this. And it makes quite a few, actually. If I'm not mistaken, it makes about 2 dozen based on the size that I'm making them, which is a pretty good yield. And they don't have to be perfect, of course. Now, one thing that I will strongly stress to you, though, is that after they are done baking, do not touch them. No, leave them alone. Let them cool on the cookie sheet, okay? I can't stress this enough, because the first time I tried making them, I was a little impatient, and I tried scooting them off of the cookie sheet while they were still warm. Oh, that was a disaster. So yeah, I would strongly suggest let them cool on the cookie sheet, and then when they have had a chance to sort of settle down, then transfer them to a wire rack for further cooling. But it's very, very important. Otherwise, they will disintegrate. You know, they are fragile, you know? So I'm just gonna keep filling up my cookie sheet here. I'll be able to get about a dozen little blobs going on here. And they will spread out a little bit. Not tremendously, but they will spread. Also, I have my oven preheating right now at 350. It's 281 right now. So almost there. And once my oven has fully preheated, I'll pop these in for about 15 minutes. It may vary depending upon your oven. I have seen less time on certain recipes. However, I have found that 15 minutes for me works perfectly. That's just me. You know, you may need to adjust it based on your oven temperature. But other than that, this is really, really quite simple. And oh so gratifying. So one more, and then this sheet will be done. Voila. All right, so my oven has almost finished preheating. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these in once it's ready, and then let them bake at 350 for 15 minutes, and then I will show you the results. So I'll see you in a bit. Boop. Okay, it's been 15 minutes now for the moment of truth. Oh my God, that's hot. And there we go. And I'm gonna pop my other batch in now. And quickly set the timer for another 15 minutes. There we go. All right, so as you can see, they did spread out a bit, you know, not tremendously. So when you're putting down your dough, you know, you don't wanna have them too close together. So now comes the really, really difficult part. That's waiting. I hate waiting, especially for sweets, but I'm gonna have to. So I'm gonna let these cool down considerably before I try to transfer them over to a wire rack, and then we get to do the taste test. So I'm gonna be patient, and I'm gonna muddle through it, but you know, I will see you in a bit. All right. All right, so now it's time for the tasting, my favorite part of these videos. Before I get into that though, I have to strongly advise that when you're taking the brookies off of the parchment paper, don't try to like scoop them off with a spatula, okay? These guys are fragile. They are extremely soft, they are thin, and therefore they are prone to breaking if you are rough with them. So what I would strongly suggest is when you are trying to take them off of the parchment paper, try to peel the parchment paper back away from the cookie, not the cookie away from the parchment paper, to avoid them from ripping. You know, you got to be gentle with them, but they're worth it. They are worth the extra effort, okay? But that being said, let's eat. So yes, they did get fairly thin, and because they are thin, yes, they are fragile, but they are soft as anything. They're cakey. Mm, mm, and so chewy. Mm, mm. mm. Delish. Mm. Tastes exactly like a brownie would, but instead of having to cut them and deal with them that way, no, it's its own little cookie. And they are absolutely delish. The texture is spot on. A little bit, they're not crunchy around the exterior edge. They're not crunchy, but they are a little bit more stiff, which is good. Mm. Chocolatey, nutty, just delish. Okay. Now, as I was saying before, you can add to this mixed dough batter, whatever you want to call it, you can add really whatever it is that you want. You could add some sprinkles on top. You could add, perhaps some candied maraschino cherries, which I think would be awesome. Other little add-ins. My personal rule of thumb is do a cup per add-in that you want. You don't want to go too crazy where there's more add-ins than dough, but versatility is the watchword by all means. And other than that, enjoy. I am going to be tearing through these tonight, let me tell you. Excuse me. Once I get started, I can't stop. Anywho, have you tried this kind of a recipe before? What was your experience? What did you do that was different? What did you do that was similar? What were your results? I'm always interested in constructive criticism, positive, constructive feedback. I am not an expert, so constructive is always good, positive is great, but other than that, we learn from our experiments and how we try and, fiddle with new recipes. So that being said, if there are any other kinds of recipes that you would like to see me try, let me know in the comments section down below. And you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay making fun, fabulous, and fudgy things in the kitchen, and stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and make them some brookies. Yeah. And until then, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now, and enjoy.